The Chilling Adventures of Sara, Sara and the Coronavirus, written and illustrated by Laura and Karina Martinez.
In a big red house lives a small brown-haired, smiling little girl called Sara. Sara is a very curious 8-year-old who has always loved reading and learning new things. One day she heard the school teacher mention something about a virus named COVID-19 that happened a long time ago, so she was desperate to ask her parents when she arrived home. When Sara got home, she asked her parents what was the virus that her teacher mentioned.
Oh honey, the virus happened a long time ago, in 2020 to be exact. It was a difficult time for everyone. It began when a lot of people started having dry cough, fever, tiredness, pains, runny nose, sore throat, and diarrhea. While her mom was telling Sara about the symptoms, she started to imagine them as people. Dry cough, sore throat, and runny nose. Come here, you will never escape from us. Pains, fever, and diarrhea. We are your worst nightmare and we will get to you. Oh darling, you may think this is a normal cold, but it was much worse than a cold. But Dad, how did it all start?
Dad said, "You know that big country in Asia called China? Well, that was where the virus started." Yes, your dad is correct. There were also many theories of why it began in China. Like, I remember one was that China planned to remove half the population of its country, but it got out of hand. Others said it was a disease that had frozen and unfrozen because of global warming, and others said it was a normal cold that mutated. Wow, what was the real truth? Well, we don't know, they were just rumors. Oh, I just remembered. People also started to say that it started because a guy ate a bat. I remember being a kid and hearing all of those rumors. I almost died laughing at some of them.
Sara started to get even more curious about the virus and wanted to know more. Mom, and what happened next? Like, did a lot of people get sick? Oh yes, a lot of people started to get infected, but we always try to keep calm in this situation. Precisely. As your mom said, being calm was the best way to react to the crisis. What we did was to wait to see what the government told us to do in order to stay safe. But being honest with you, my dear, there were some times where we could not keep calm.
Then Dad said, "For sure, but honey, everything ended up okay." Wow, really? And what did the government tell you to do? Not only the government, but also doctors told us what to do. They asked us to follow some measures. The first measure and the most important was to wash our hands, more times than often, especially once we got home from being outside. Sara, could you imagine being allowed to go out of your house and being able to stay home for the whole day? That will be a nightmare. I will not be able to see my friends or go to the park. Well, that was something we had to do. We could only go out if we had an emergency or if we were hungry and needed to buy some food. Yes, sweetie, it was so scary. We were your age when it happened. We stayed endless day without being able to go out.
Home was like a prison, but at least we were safe and together as a family, Dad said. And did it help to save people? Asked Sara. After a while it did. What do you mean after a while? Sara, sadly a lot of people passed away, but luckily your father's family and mine were saved. And we will always be thankful for that, because if something had happened to us, you would not be here. How many people died? It seemed like more than half of the population worldwide. Don't be silly. Being honest, a considerable amount. But they will always be remembered in our hearts and minds, because they were warriors. Your mom is absolutely right. They are still warriors.
Then Sara said, "That's sad, but how did it all start to disappear?" Great question, Sara. Let's change the mood and talk about positive and good things. After many studies, scientists and doctors were able to find a cure, but also many people started to recover naturally. They recovered naturally? Really? That's a blessing. I remember hearing the news when they found the vaccine. I had never been more excited in my life. How long did it take to discover the vaccine? I'm not sure. About a year and a half, maybe. Being honest, it felt like it took an eternity to find a cure.
So were you guys allowed to go outside ever again? Yes, sweetie. We started to live our lives normally again. It was incredible to see so many people outside celebrating life and thanking the doctor for all their work. Wow, That must have been so cool, said Sara. Yes, it definitely was. And what happened to the hospitals? Asked Sara. Well, they proceeded to do a deep cleansing of all their buildings, and the patients started to go home healthy and grateful. Oh, but thankfully it was all over, right? Yes, darling.
Then Sarah said, Mom, I have a question. What happened? That's why we always have to wash our hands. Correct, darling. We always need to wash our hands to prevent getting sick. I believe your school has some strict measures regarding personal hygiene. Am I right? Yes, they are also very strict when it comes to washing our hands. Is it all because of this? Now everything makes sense. Since then, people became really paranoid. There was a point where they thought they had to wash their hands every minute, and they will have to wear special suits that cover all their body to go out. Wow, that's crazy. Well, thankfully, the experience gave us a lot to learn, and we have all grown as better human beings, said Sarah. Yes, darling, that's true. To summarize all, it was an apocalypse. Thank you for telling me about the coronavirus. Now I can go to school and tell all my friends what I know.
The end.